So is the price of Bitcoin about to crash and go sub $30,000 again? I'm going to discuss that in this video. Hello everyone, it's Sajad. First of all, a happy Thanksgiving weekend to you all. So are the fun and games about to begin on this long weekend? This is usually what we see with crypto. That's why it's pivotal at the moment, and there are some really important levels in Bitcoin. So if you're invested in any crypto, now, it's unprecedented this year what's going on with NFTs, and we'll get onto that in just a minute. But still, Bitcoin is king, and what happens with Bitcoin could potentially affect the entire crypto market. So that's what I'm discussing in this video. Sorry for the delay. It's been a very busy year with businesses, but it's now time to monitor investments more closely, especially as we're getting a lot of action. So let's get straight to it. Now, first of all, I'm going to start with the charts, and then we'll discuss a few other kind of bits and bobs as well. At the moment, Bitcoin is trading at around $54,000. And the question is whether we actually saw a medium-term top at the $68,000, $69,000 mark, and whether we're going to go right back down. One of the easiest ways I find when I'm analyzing this is to get out onto a weekly chart. And what I'm looking for is there any obvious kind of clues in the structure? And you can put this on a log scale as well to make it a little bit easier. But the main thing I'm looking at here is when we had our move down with all of crypto, all the way from April to July, what I was interested in is the move back up. Is this move corrective? Because when you're looking at kind of wave structure, what you ideally want to see is if we're moving up in a brand new impulse, what you want to see is nice 5-wave impulses where there's no overlap in the third wave. There's usually a nice extension. It could be in any wave as well, but generally the third wave is nice and extended. You see it here, for example. Let me show you what it looks like here from the move down. It depends which way you want to count this, but potentially this kind of subwave here, you can see there's a long extension in the third. That's what we're looking for here. What we don't want to see when we're moving up is a corrective move up. So a 3-wave move up. And on the weekly, this just looks like a 3-wave move up. And what that will mean is we might be in for a bigger correction. So what do I mean by that? So as an example, this whole thing, this whole area, so just let's have a look at this a little bit closer. So this whole area is a correction, completely normal in a market. You know, it's a period of consolidation. However, in a crypto market, this is significant because of the implication. So to give you an idea, so how could this potentially pan out? This is one way it could pan out. What we could get here is 3-wave move down, 3-wave move up, and then a 5-wave move down. It's a flat. And so far we meet the criteria there. So how that would basically look is on a larger time frame, what we're getting is a move down here, then a move back up. So a flat or expanded flat in this particular case, and then a 5-wave move down. It could be a running one, so it could stop short as well of the bottom. And I've actually seen that not only in the crypto market, but in the general markets as well. You tend to not re-explore the bottom sometimes, especially in a market where it's generally very bullish long term. It might stop short of the bottom, so we might stop at around 30,000, or we could break through as well. And nothing would change. It doesn't mean Bitcoin's ended, or crypto's all going to return to zero or anything like that. It just means this is just a period of consolidation. So for the next 2 months or so, because usually these things tend to be sharp, everything moves back down significantly. Bitcoin drags everything else with it. So that's what I'm considering here. Is this what's about to happen? And if this happens, and we crash back down to below 30,000, then I mean, it's a great place here to buy not only Bitcoin, but a lot of crypto, because at the moment, the Bitcoin dominance is significant, and we'll get onto that in just a minute as well. So that's one way to look at it. Now, the other way in terms of the short term, so let me just remove these drawings here. Let's get on to a shorter term time frame. So let's move on to 4 hourly. So if you see here again, this is the April move down, and what we think could be a 3-wave move up. And the other thing is this price coming into the territory of this top here, which is about 52, 53,000. You kind of don't want to see that either. Another way you can look at this is the bullish look, and then I'll explain to you what I think is going on potentially towards the end of the video. But basically, the other way to look at this is this is a beginning of a massive move up where Bitcoin's going to go over 100,000 and beyond now, not in 2-3 months when it gets back to 30,000 and then starts the next move. It's actually going to go right now. Now, this is very much possible, and within this third wave, this could be a smaller 1-2 correction, which again is completely normal before it shoots off. Now, how do we know whether that's happening or not? That's one thing I'm looking at. So if that's happening, let's just remove the drawings again. Then on a smaller time frame, let's zoom in here. What we want to see is actually this being a correction. This is a smaller expanded flat. So let me just kind of mark that off to give you an idea. So this is a 3, this is a 3, and this is a 5-wave move. It's an expanded flat. Now there's a maximum level this should go down to, and then it should quickly start moving up if that's the case. And you can already see here a down sloping kind of trend line forming. And we will know this Thanksgiving weekend. That's why this is kind of urgent if you're holding any type of crypto. Now, because I was a bit concerned about this, I've been reducing my position significantly just so that I am ready, because if everything does crash, it's just an amazing buying opportunity, probably in about 6 to 8 weeks, something like that, probably kind of January-ish time, and then we should see a massive bull run for the rest of the year. Or it could be happening right now. So you'd need to have funds ready over, let's say next week. By next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's time to buy, and it's time to, you know, go in a little bit deeper into crypto. Depends what you're trading in. And by the way, if you want me to cover any specific crypto markets, just mention them below. I've been through hundreds of coins and different types of NFTs, DeFi, everything over the last kind of 2 to 3 months. Kind of basically swatting up on everything, because this is a new era. This is almost like when Apple, Amazon now created for the first time the internet, just before the internet bubble. This is a new time now. It's the new internet really when it comes to kind of metaverse, etc. And the question really is this first year or so of all of this new stuff 1999 again, with the dot-com bubble crash, and then it's only the blue chips type of stuff that keeps going, where everything else just kind of reverts back to zero, and a lot of people lose a lot of money on random coins that just were useless? Or are we a little bit earlier? We're not at the dot-com bubble time yet. That might be in about 12 to 18 months. Something to consider. Anyway, let's have a look at what the important key level is. We're already actually at a key level at the 54,000 mark. So this suggests that we may have gone too far already. But technically speaking, if you look at the kind of extension levels here, so let me get the Chrome extension here. So we're looking at this low here to this particular high we saw on the 10th of November. And what we want to see is no bigger than kind of a 1.6, generally speaking. So around the 50,000 mark. If we're messing around with the 50,000 mark or below, then you know we could be in trouble when it comes to the price of Bitcoin. So that's what I'm looking at. That's the maximum. What we tend to get is like a 138 tends to be a very common one. So around the 51,700. If we get support there, we have this little kind of mini crash everywhere, and then we get massive support, and then we get strong candle patterns, and then the price quickly starts pushing up. So we kind of spike down here, back up on a 4-hourly, and then we break through here, then we're good to go. Then there's a good chance the bullish argument is intact. However, if price just starts screaming through these levels, then obviously you know this could be a bigger, much bigger correction, which again is completely normal in any market. Bitcoin has moved up significantly, not much, you know, in the last kind of few months or so, but compared to the last 12 to 18 months, it has moved up a lot. Now, in terms of social activity at the moment, Bitcoin is still right at the top there. And it's interesting that even these smaller coins like Shiba Inu is number 3, Pancake number 4, and I'll be discussing some of these coins on the channel as well. Again, if you'd like me to cover anything else, please mention it in the comment section below. Another one I'll be talking about a lot is Cardano, and also XRP as well, which I'm involved in, although the holding's kind of small at the moment, because I have a feeling if this is going to happen, we might get a bigger correction and a much better kind of buying opportunity. So I'm keeping an eye open for that as well. The other thing is looking at kind of the fear greed index for crypto. So let's have a look at this right now. So, I mean, this is the issue. Recently, we were kind of in greed level, but not significantly. We're kind of in between at the moment. And a lot of the markets, if you actually look at the RSI, let's have a look at that right now on the 4 hourly. If we look at the RSI, again, it's 4 hourly, so it's a shorter term time frame. What we were seeing was a little bit of divergence between these peaks, but not a massive amount. But what we want to see here is if we spike down, but what we want to see is a kind of lower high here, so kind of almost bullish divergence here at the lows. That's what we're looking for. But at the moment, we're a little bit in oversold territory, but not significantly so. Another place where we might find support, this is on a daily chart now. You can see there the orange moving average is the 200-day moving average, but that does come in a lot lower at around the 45,000 mark. So potentially we could see support there. We've kind of broken through the 50, which again is not particularly a problem. It's just whether this is a bigger correction now or a smaller one. That's the kind of big question here. The reason I'm personally, so in terms of my opinion, I'm personally leaning towards a kind of bigger crash is because when you actually look at the other kind of stable coins and the other main cryptos with the big market caps, the charts don't look great, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like, even let's say for Cardano here, is this a kind of 1-2? This chart looks like it just wants to spill over into a much bigger correction. That's how it's looking. If you have a look at this pattern, nothing in this correction's is telling me, look, we've gone up in a 5-wave move and we're just having a little 1, 2, 3 back, taking a breather, and then we're moving up. This is screaming to me, look, we have kind of more downside to come. So that's my opinion. I think we could be going for a much bigger correction, but let's see. Like I said, it's all about the levels. Bitcoin is still the main one that's dominant here. And you can see there at the top, the in terms of dominance, it's at 40%. It's actually gone down a little bit, 40%. Market cap at the moment overall 2.57 trillion, which is up a massive amount over the last kind of year or so. So let me know what you think as well in the comment section below. Do you think it's just a short, sharp little correction and then towards the end of Thanksgiving weekend we're back up and running? Or do you think, yes, we're actually due a bigger correction overall in crypto over the next 2 to 3 months, and then probably around late January, February time, that's when the lows might be in, and that's when we should be ready to buy. Thanks very much for listening.